welcome to the video. I'm filming in my car today, so I don't know if I like it or not. I'm gonna try it out and I'll go from there and decide. So welcome to Things to Consider. It's your Midwest girl. So today, these are stupid mistakes I feel like I watch people mistakes, but I don't think I have, y'all, because they're so easily avoidable. It does not matter. This does not matter what job you work. This does not matter if you are single or have kids or if you live on the East Coast or in the Midwest or what. Jumping into it is, I'm adjusting the seat. So if you heard, that's what that was. If money's not an issue, this should not be a thing at all, ever. And that's running out of fuel in your vehicle. You guys, why are there so many people on the side of the road? And you know they have those red gas cans. And thank goodness for our friends and family who come and bail us out. But I'm like, it's not a hard problem to fix, but it's avoidable. Don't be running out of gas on the side of the road, especially if you're trying to get somewhere. There could not be something less convenient to have happen on a highway, I feel like, besides having to pull over or basically stop for any reason on a highway. If you're on the West Coast, you guys call it a freeway. Neither here nor there. I'm just saying, again, if money is a struggle and it's like you put your last 5 in your tank and that's all you got, that's all you got. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who know better and have the funds to avoid this. It's a thing. For real. Y'all shouldn't be letting that happen. Next one is showing up late. You guys, I have room to talk to. My friends know I run late. I really do. On a social, if it's a social event and it's not a huge deal and I'm just meeting a friend for coffee or whatever, yeah, I'll probably run late. But if it's work, if it's professional, if it's an event such as a graduation or it's a ceremony, like an award ceremony or something like that, be on time and work backwards so you can manage your time better. And what I mean by that is, if you need to be there at 8:30, pretend like you need to be there at 8:15 and then map out how long is that going to take me to be present by 8:15. I mean, that is just such, and it just doesn't look good. A lot of people, if you have kids, you can blame them. Oh, I like the kids, whatever. But it's always best, like, just don't be late, especially if y'all are going to an interview. If you're going to an interview or a funeral, I'm trying to think of any other like non-negotiables, or a flight. Oh my gosh, you know who I'm talking about in the airport. You see these people rushing around. Oh, my flight's leaving, blah, blah. I've done it. But you've got to be able to do that. If it's a big event, if it's super important, but especially if you're going to a location or you're going to a wedding or something like that. Oh, that's another one too. Weddings. Do not be late to a wedding. How embarrassing. I'd rather sit outside in my car, wait for the ceremony to finish where they and then go in during the reception, like in between the ceremony and the reception. I rather just not be there, because I would just lose it if I had to walk in after the bridesmaids or the groomsmen were already coming down the aisle. So it's just a very easy mistake to avoid. I don't understand. And then also going hand in hand with being late to an interview, you guys, there is no excuse on the planet. I do not care who you are. When you go to an interview, something else I see people do often, dress nicely for an interview. Comb your hair, brush your teeth. I don't care if you don't usually brush your teeth in the morning. Brush your teeth, which just absolutely gets me. Y'all, I could get into a whole dental thing. I have big old chompers, but I take care of them. My teeth are, you guys got to take care of your teeth. So I'm just saying, if you have an interview, there's no reason under the planet. There's TJ Maxx, there's Kohl's. You have friends. Borrow your friends' pantalones. I don't care. But do something to make yourself look more presentable. You can get online and Google, what to wear to a job interview. And it even get more specific than that. I sound like I'm 48 years old or something. No offense to 48-year-olds. But like, use AI. AI, put me together an outfit. I have such and brush your hair in your teeth and like splash some water on your face. Don't walk up into interview with crusties in your eyes like you've been up for 20 minutes or something. Don't walk into an interview like in my profession. Like, I wouldn't walk in an interview with like a coffee cup or with like a Starbucks or something like that. But y'all, I'm in a man's field, so a man's industry, whatever you want to call it. Usually around cities or towns where they will have clothes that people have donated and they'll give them to you for free. Talk to a local church, go to Goodwill, again, borrow your friend's pants. Just attempt to try, you guys. It's crazy to some of the things I have witnessed, and I know you guys have too. That's why I'm saying this. All feel free to, this video is not to you guys. More than anything, share the knowledge, okay? Share this. Share these easy mistakes to avoid with others. Educate them. That's what I'm saying. I already know if you're watching this, you care enough. So spread the knowledge out. That's all I'm saying. Okay, this is going to be many ways. These next two are going to be probably the two most controversial. But the first one is saying I love you, but to the right people. Tell the person that you love them if you do. Like, don't ever forget, y'all, we're going to die. Okay, Matthew McConaughey says it all the time. I'm going to die. I need it. He's like, I need that in my back pocket all the time when things get stressful or they just seem overwhelming or too big, or it seems like everything hinges on this moment or on this decision. It's like, don't forget we're going to die. Don't forget about that. So I just think it's always best to tell the right people that you love them. The people who have earned it and deserve it. You know exactly what I mean by that. But I am talking about, you need to tell your parents you love them if you do. Even if they don't say it. Well, my dad grew up in the such and such era and you don't understand who he is and whatever. But don't forget, our time together with the people we care about and love is so limited. I just think that would be one of my biggest regrets ever, is not saying I love you to somebody I did love, who I know needed to hear it and should hear it. And I just think that's just vital. I think it's so important, and you never know how much the person you're talking to, who you end up saying that to, might need to hear that. Even a friend, like, and you don't have to be weird and sit down and look into each other's eyes and whatever, but you can just be like, hey man, you know what? I love you. Like, you're a real one. They will appreciate it so much. In fact, even if they're having a bad day or it doesn't seem like the right time, you have the pull and the influence to change the trajectory of their mood. For sure. If one of my friends just like came at me and said that, or if I was dating somebody and they came out to me and they were just like, hey, by the way, I just want you to know, even if they told me before, that is a huge one. I think that is really important. Mistake to avoid, guys. I do not know why this is a thing. I could do a whole video over this because this is my pet peeve. I don't know if other countries are just as bad. I assume they are. I would bet to say the Brits are just as bad as Americans on this. But apologize. Y'all act like saying sorry is like eating 6 lemons. It's like eating dog poo. You can't do it. You absolutely won't entertain it. I can't even fathom apologizing. And there's two types of people. There are people who never apologize under any circumstance, regardless of how clearly they were wrong or had a huge part in it. And then there are other people who I feel like apologize too much. So this is not to you. You know who you really are if you have any wherewithal, and if you have some self-reflection, you know which one of those you are. My gosh, people, Just freaking say you're sorry. And we make it this huge deal. Like, oh no, I just don't think we're on the same level. We're just headed down different paths. I'm like, really? Are you? Or do you just not want to say you're sorry? You're about to break up a whole friendship, a whole relationship, whatever, because you don't know how to apologize? Man, baby, that's a damn fool. A fool if you don't know how to apologize, or you don't think you should apologize. I'm telling you what, there is, and even if you're not even mainly in the wrong, even if you just want to salvage the relationship and save it, I mean, bring something to the table. And usually, if the person you care to have this relationship with is of a certain value, they will probably apologize for something they did too. It depends on the situation. Obviously, it's all relative, but I'll never understand. I do not understand why people have such a hard time apologizing. I've said it in other videos, but I grew up as the youngest. I have an older sister, and so I was used to being wrong. I feel like I was wrong a lot. Truly, I was wrong a lot. And then also, I was used to having a sibling that was older than me. She knew more. She had different experiences. And then my parents too, obviously, them being adults. I'd be like, no, that's not right. Or I'd argue with them or whatever. And then I'd find out that they ended up being right. And so I'd just be like, okay, or if it was behavior or circumstances, I figured out that I had, I wasn't in the right on certain things. And I just think that's so foolish to not step up and say like, hey, I'm really sorry. And I'm telling y'all too, for relationships, even if it's somebody where your relationship has changed and it may never change back. For example, if you treated a girl really poorly or you treated a guy really poorly in a relationship or in a friendship or whatever, I don't care if it's been a decade. If you think about that on a regular basis, like, say you're sorry. There is a circumstance when I was in high school. It happened, I think, in middle school. But when I was in high school, I had this acquaintance. We were friends at one point. And this acquaintance, I'm gonna make up a name for her, just so. Let's say her name was Briley. So Briley and I were friends back in middle school. And then, again, I'm making up a separate name. Lauren. So Briley and Lauren were friends with me in middle school, and I truly do not remember this. I do not remember this, but Briley told me later on in high school that I said, basically, I don't think we should be friends anymore. I just feel like I want to hang out with different people than you. And I definitely gave off the impression that they were not popular enough for me to hang out with. Okay. Stupid Olivia, middle school girl at the time. And I remember Briley telling me that in high school, and I was disgusted with myself, and more than anything, just embarrassed. I think at the time we hadn't really hung out that much for a couple years, but the fact that she remembered it and then brought it to my attention, she's like, yeah, you basically just said like you're too cool to hang out with me and Lauren. And I was like, I am so sorry. And I just immediately apologized. I'm a very deep thinker. I have very intense emotions for sure. That being said, though, I keep up boundaries. It's a whole thing. I understand if it's a very complex, like, parent, son or daughter relationship or something like that, that can be really hard. But a lot of times I'm just like, and also if you're a parent and you weren't a good parent, you did not do right by your child, say you're sorry. It doesn't matter who's older. That's not a thing, by the way. Take accountability. Next one, with a few exceptions, do not make this mistake. Y'all need to be getting sleep. Sleep affects everything. It affects every category of your life. It's so important and vital. And unless you have, here we go with the disclaimers. If you have a newborn, if you have a very stressful time in your life where you're taking care of, or you're a caregiver for someone who is elderly or terminally ill or has cancer or something like that, that's not what I'm talking about. I know that you cannot control if you're getting enough sleep when that is on your plate and it's a responsibility of yours. But if you are living a day in, day out, I'd say regular quote unquote life, you need to be getting sleep. Stop with the bedtime defiance. Tell yourself, I'm going to start winding down 30 minutes ahead of when I want to be asleep, or 45 minutes, or even an hour, whatever you need to do. And then stick to that. I do not like being on lack of sleep. I do not like how I act when I have a lack of sleep. It's like, that's so within our control. Again, within most circumstances. Be better about that. That will change everything. That changes your attitude, the way you feel, the way you function, everything. So that's a big one that I just feel like is so avoidable in most cases. Get some sleep, you guys. We're so much better with sleep. Next. Oh, this is a big one. I don't understand this mistake. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes somebody could make, purposefully trying to make someone else's life miserable. And there's a lot of you out there. Get that. First of all, I have a limited amount of capacity. I apparently have a lot more limited amount of capacity in my head for BS, but limited amount of tolerance compared to everybody else. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't even have social media, which is crazy because I'm making these videos, but I don't even have social media because I don't need to know. And I'm not about to get my feelings hurt. I'll do a whole other video over this. Get my feelings hurt over some crap I saw on the internet that probably isn't even true. Oh, y'all, I'm gonna make a whole video on this. It's ridiculous. I can't imagine, though, purposefully trying to make someone else miserable. And sometimes it's very manipulative. It's like, I know if I post this or I show this trip or this vacation, it will make this person, this group feel bad about themselves. And then there's also trying to make somebody miserable, like at work. Like, I'm going to report them for X or Y or Z. If that directly affects you and makes your life truly harder, or your job impossible or much more difficult to do and achieve, that's one thing, okay? But I'm talking about just basically being an a-hole for sport, or because somebody broke up with you or whatever. Like, honestly, that says everything about you, not about them. And it's really hard. You don't know my baby dad. You don't know my ex-wife. I don't. But I know if they're that wretched of a person, and I wouldn't waste another minute on them. Not a second. Really, they're spending that kind of energy. How do you have that energy either? You have responsibilities. You have a house to keep clean. You have a car to pay for. You have a job to attend to. And you're going to spend your extra time and energy purposefully making somebody else miserable, either for sport or for revenge or for whatever. And again, you guys, at the end of the day, that says a lot more about your character than it says about them. We all have been done dirty, and it is so frustrating. Now, sometimes karma has happened, and I'm not gonna lie, I have sat there and definitely laughed or saw it coming and been like, yep, that's the bed you made. But I did not purposefully take steps to try to make that negative situation happen. I've never done that. I've never done that, as mad as I have been before, or as wrong as I felt like somebody has done me before. You're not going to get my energy like that. You're not. It's like, you're not going to get my efforts. You're not going to get my attention like that. I feel like everybody's attention, start treating it like it's sacred. Your attention, what you pay attention to and who you pay attention to, really matters. And it's like, but they've been in my life for so long and this and that. It doesn't matter. If they're not good for you, and they're not bringing value to your life, even if it's just humor, even if it's just enjoyment, it doesn't have to be like, oh, they're giving me options or opportunities, I don't know. Anyway, I just can't imagine truly taking the time and having such a messy just sad heart that you purposefully want to make other people's lives miserable. I just can't do that. Oh, this is a big one. You guys will know too, as I continue to make videos, kids are just so important to me. So important. Children, kids, babies too, just so important to me. But also, you have to remember, I was elementary education originally. I taught for 5 years. They are near and dear to my heart. And I think that something that happens a lot is parents get so in the flow and used to the routine of just making sure we get the kids picked up from school and this and that and the other, and going to a practice or attending this event or whatever. Do not make the mistake of forgetting to tell your kids on a regular basis that you enjoy them, point out positive things about them, that you love them, that any of their strong suits, and this is, again, things I'm going to revisit over and over again, is compounding over time. It takes 1,000 I'm proud of yous, or you're doing great, or I really appreciate that you did, you took out the garbage or whatever. It takes 1,000 of those, and it only takes one, I can't believe you did this. How could you ever, fill in the blank. You cannot, I swear, I don't think at any age for kids, teenagers, I don't think you can encourage them too much. And they need that. I was with them for 8 hours every day in elementary school. You don't trade usually, if it's a traditional elementary school. You don't trade classes. They don't have different periods. You're with them 8 hours every single day, day in and day out for 180 days straight. At least that's how we do it in Kansas. And that's how Florida was too, because those are the two states I taught in. Well, Alaska, neither here nor there. But yes, and you cannot encourage them too much. I've never seen a kid, now you can baby them and coddle them and not call them out on their issues or their struggles that need to be corrected. I'm not saying that. But encourage them on the positive things. I'm telling you, the way you greet your kid after school matters, down to something that minuscule. Put your phone down when they get in the car. Don't just, hurry up, we have to go. I watch that all the time at pickup after school. And my mom was so good about this. My parents are fire, y'all. I'm not just bragging on them because I'm delusional. They truly were. They're amazing. Every day when I got in the car, my mom acted like she had not seen me in 10 days. Hey baby, how was your day? What did you learn today? What did you think of the project? How did it go? Did so-and-so end up presenting, or did you present, or did you both? She really would stop whatever was going on in her mind, whatever stressor was happening, and she would engage with me and talk to me with enthusiasm and excitement. And I just want to provide that for my child someday. That doesn't exist, by the way. The last but not least is one that I got to work on a little bit too. But I've learned, don't take yourself too seriously, y'all. Don't take yourselves too seriously. You're out here, I'm a hustler, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm like, okay, if that's true, your actions will speak for it. And we all get a little hype on ourselves sometimes, and we need a minute. But also too, there's so much stuff that I do that I'm like, what is wrong with you? I'll tell you right now, I'll call myself out right now. This is one I needed to calm. Somebody needed to tell me to sit down about this. I cannot believe I did this. Okay, so when I was at K-State, me and my best friend Lindsay, we're still friends till this day. Shout out to Lindsay. I love you, girl, forever and ever. I'll have her make a video with me if she's willing. And this just bothered me so much. I was going to be 23 when we graduated. We were going to graduate on the same day. Mind you, I was born before her. literally in 93, and she was born in 94, and she was going to be 22, and so were some of our friends who were going to graduate on the same day from K-State, and I was going to be 23, and they were going to be 22, and that bothered me so much. I felt like I was like behind and older. Like, get a hold of yourself, you dummy. Like, I wish I could have shaken my freaking 23-year-old self. Like, find a real problem. People have real problems. Find a real problem. Okay. That's it, guys. That's it for today. I'm sending love from your Midwest girl all the time. Okay. Comment down below any of these things that you've done or that you know you should change. Okay. Until next time.